Hello, and welcome to Phil Brown's Computer Networking Lab. You're watching an instructional video called Active Directory, Users and Computers. We're on Domain Controller 1 or DC1. In this video, we're going to examine the Active Directory Users and Computers applet. First, we'll go to the Administrative Tools and choose the Active Directory Users and Computers. We can see that it is authoritative over the philibrown.local domain. Let's open it up to get a closer look at its features. We can see a number of containers to the left and information which is inside the containers to the right. We can see the built-in groups of the Active Directory, the computers that are joined to the domain, the domain controllers, the security principles, the managed security accounts, and the users of the domain. We are able to create new containers called organizational units. The organizational units that do not have the icon of a book inside of them cannot be controlled by group policy. The icons that do have books in them can be controlled by group policy. So let's create a user account that we can put our users into so we can control them using group policy. I'll create 3 organizational units under the user accounts to represent the geographical locations of the users. The users for this company will be based in the United States, Europe, and Asia. I can then drag any user into the organizational unit that they belong into. I can also change the default of where the users are created inside of Active Directory. Now let me create an organizational unit for the computer accounts. We will be able to use group policy to control computers based upon what group policies we apply to the organizational units. I will create organizational units for kiosk computers, lab computers, and office computers. Let me click on the computer container and drag PC1 into the office organizational unit. Now we can apply group policies to the office OU, and it will be applied to the PC1 computer. Now let me drag user Philip Brown in the organizational unit for US user accounts. Now let's take a look at an average user account. I will click on some of the tabs so you can see what they look like. Notice under the Account tab, it gives specific information that allows the user account to be unlocked and to control other aspects of his account. And inside of the profile, it allows you to create a roaming profile for that user. And I'll quickly go through the rest of these. Some of these we will be looking at in closer detail in future videos. Let me go back to the Members Of tab. This is a very important tab. It allows users to become members of groups. There are numerous types of groups: administrative groups, backup groups, server groups, printer groups. And if a person is a member of a particular group, they can have the properties that that group inherits. Another important feature is the ability to be able to reset the password for a user. And we can also unlock the account from this window. A very useful tool in Active Directory is the find command. It allows you to quickly search the users and computers for information that is stored in it. Here we can have it look for all the users, contacts, and groups. Take a look. We can also identify all the computers that are joined to the domain. So far we have PC1 and the domain controller 1. And now let's have a look at the printers that we have. We can also see the shared folders inside of Active Directory. I meant to put some in there earlier, but unfortunately I forgot to do it before this video. I'll go ahead and set it up. But first I want to show you how I set up the printers to be listed inside of Active Directory. Let's get out of the users and computers and take a look at the devices and printers. Here's a printer. Let's take a look at its share permissions by clicking on this tab. We have a check mark inside of List in Directory. The directory it's referring to is Active Directory. Now let's quickly create a shared folder. And after we create the shared folder, we will list it inside of Active Directory. Okay, we finished creating the shared folder. Now let's set up the listing for Active Directory. We'll go inside of the Computer Management tool. And then inside of Shared Folders. And click on Shares. We can see that the shared folder that we created is listed here. We'll click on the Publish tab. We can add keywords here if we want to. Now let's go back to Active Directory users and computers and see if the shared folder appears. There it goes. We have successfully created a listing for the shared folder in Active Directory. Active Directory, users and computers, is an extremely important tool for centralized management in a computer networking system. I hope this video has been informative, and I thank you for viewing.